all please rise for the pledge of the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, welcome. As I said, it's a small crowd. We appreciate your being here. First thing that we want to talk about is, oh, sorry. I haven't said anything.
Out of sync already.
I know I am. I'm ready. First thing we want to start with is the board bravos and updates. So does anybody have any updates they want to talk about?
Parade was fun.
Parade was
Yeah, that's about it right now, right?
Parade was fun. Good pictures on the Fort Thomas school page.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
I think the city really does a great job putting it together, and the crowd was fantastic.
Always on.
Here's the other thing, because I walked the next day. They were cleaning up candy at 8 in the morning. I mean, I don't think there was a warm piece of candy left. I mean, they just, they were picking it up and cleaning it up, so the city does do a great job. So it was fun.
Awesome.
Somebody should do a study of the candy intake in beginning compared to the ones down by the Midway.
It could go
That
either
sounds like a
way.
good school project.
Yes.
Mathematics,
A little summer study.
There was a lot of candy.
Because it comes to, a lot goes out in the beginning, but at the end, you're getting rid of the rest of the bags.
If we're one case study, it really just depends on the veteran nature of the children who are in the back of the truck.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
right.
And other than that, I'm trying to think, FCCLA won a couple of national awards. So they were one of the top 10 chapters in the nation. So that's very cool. I don't think any of our kids in STAR events have won a national award before, coming in first in the whole country. So congratulations to them. That's very cool.
I assume they'll be in.
I know, we'll come and talk about them. She's got them. They're flying over there. They do great stuff. So, anything else? We're getting ready for school
Not
to
in
start.
July, I don't, yeah.
Getting ready for school to start. I'm hearing of teams trying out.
Did Dead Period in yesterday? Is that right?
Dead period is finished, and so fall sports are kicking it into high gear. We would encourage several of the schools will have some back-to-school events before our next board meeting, so definitely parents should keep a close eye on district calendar and make sure that we have all of that. We also welcome a large number of new staff to the district in the coming months. We feel good about some of our new to the nest or new to the fort.
I think some of the tech training and all that, MacBook training and that kind of stuff's already started, so feels like we just started something, but there you go.
Do you have a rising sixth grader?
I do, my oldest, so she did that today, yeah.
Oh, I hope I have my sons on the calendar. I know we have an incoming sixth grader and an incoming freshman, so all the transition things I need to make sure I have them.
Mhm.
Your
We're
August,
deep in summer mode right now around.
your August could be busy.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. So I'm enjoying July.
Great. All right, anything else? Did we miss anything, Brian?
No.
Okay. Community forum, I don't have anybody signed up for community forum, is that correct? Okay. All right, then the next thing are action items. So Jerry, are you gonna talk about the roof replacement?
I am.
Okay.
Looks busy down there.
It does.
It's very busy. So roof replacements going well. My viewpoint is going up on the high school roof and then looking over the top. Cause I don't wanna go out there while they're up there working, cause if you open up the door, you could, go right into an area where they're working and, something maybe freshly tarred and something like that. So we kinda go up and look from the high school roof every once in a while. They're making good progress. We get weekly reports from them. That we're still looking at sometime in the fall, but the majority of the invasive work done before school starts. So that everything they have there will be, everything they have out front will be removed. There will be some sections of the roof that will wait until after the HVAC work is done, because that has to be worked, some of that work has to be completed after some new units that will be coming after the majority of the roof is done arrive. So even though they might mobilize the majority of their stuff off site, they may come back and do a little roof curbing and some of that work. So,
AC's off in the entire building,
in the middle school currently, yes.
but the high school off in most of the building?
Actually, we turned it back on about 1 o'clock this afternoon, and we've been working throughout the afternoon and evening, bringing up different parts of it, trying to, identify, potential issues.
What's the plan with that? Is that gonna be off and on till school starts, or is it gonna be
That
on?
should, it will, the plan is over the next couple of days just to test everything out, but then, once we know that everything is operating, as it should, we'll have it on in those areas that, we have people working in or activities taking place. So we had pinpointed today as a day to get it back on and met that goal.
When are the AC units in the middle school supposed to be, or done, completed?
We anticipate, starting the turn, on of the new VRF system in the office in the next week or so. They are scheduled to kind of start cleaning the office, I believe it's July 27th.
Okay.
But that section should be on. They do anticipate having all the work done so they can have cooling active at the middle school, by the August 1st date. Don't wanna panic people. They do, currently the thermostats are on back order. So when we turn it on, it might just be on, cause we'd rather have them be a little cold than hot. So
Okay.
we may have a little bit less control for August, maybe into September while we wait on the thermostats. But all the wiring will be done, so all they have to do is pretty much pull one off, the old one off and plug the new one in.
So do you feel like it's happening like you thought it would and?
Yeah.
And they're on schedule?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I felt we were ahead of schedule a little bit, but then some of the last pieces, we might have been able to get the high school on last week, except there was one gasket that they needed to bring down from, Dayton on Friday afternoon. So, there was one gasket that they needed to get a different one. What came with the heat exchanger was too thin, so they had to get a thicker gasket for the end, and they went up to Dayton, picked it up and brought it back.
They had a few items that they were concerned with back orders, but it seems that most of the orders were meeting as expected.
And there's a plan in place, so for instance, for the middle school, we'll start that system up with the old cooling tower, because the new cooling tower doesn't ship till the end of July, so that will arrive, and then we'll schedule a good date, possibly around fall break, because we'll have to do a crane lift for the old one off, the new one on. But they'll have everything pretty much piped and fabbed and ready to go.
Everything will run fine on the old one?
Yeah.
Till then? Yeah.
Okay,
So
thanks.
we do have, for the majority of the projects, we have some pay applications. The first pay application for the roof is relatively small, it's only $38,398.50.
Okay, I need a motion for the approval of pay application number 1 to Imbus Roofing in the amount of $38,398.50 for the Highlands Roof Replacement Project.
So moved.
Second,
That's it.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
So we've already given, the majority of the highlights on the guaranteed energy savings contract, about the high school, activating that system today. And then, with the middle school, when we met last week, they feel good about where they are. I've already talked about the thermostats, but they've done the majority of the work. We will, probably late this week have some of the middle school custodial staff back working in their building to start getting the building cleaned up. The plan is to hopefully have one floor for them to work on late this week. So we were hoping for today, but they had to tidy up a couple things.
Questions about this project? Talking about it for a while. Okay,
So we have pay application number 4 for $712,093.44.
Okay, I need a motion for the approval of pay application number 4 to CMTA Incorporated in the amount of $712,093.44 for the Guaranteed Energy Savings Contract Program.
That amount's so high, cause that's all the equipment and everything in there.
There's a big chunk that's labor. A lot of the equipment we're paying for directly on purchase orders. And we did pay about $380,000 toward those, because one large item, new chiller arrived. And, so we got the invoice on that.
Yeah, that's right, all the equipment has to go through us.
So we've been paying those directly on purchase orders. The majority of that is labor for the work they did, as soon as school got out.
Okay,
How many more pay apps for them, for this?
Well, I don't wanna give you an exact number, because with that work that's gonna happen in October, I expect we'll see, some small, maybe some large, through, October, maybe even November 1, depending on, how we do with reducing retainage and stuff like that, until it's all paid off. You could see it December or January 1.
Our completion is slated for December, is that correct? It was the contract.
The date of substantial completion was, listed for December.
So, okay. Sorry, messed up your motion, didn't we?
That's
So
all
moved.
right.
yeah, motion to approve.
Yeah. You have a second? A motion and a second?
I just so moved.
Okay, so moved and
Second.
second. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Okay. All right, Gary.
So we have continued to do design work on the athletic complex at Tower Park. A couple weeks ago, a small group of us met with KLH to talk about technology, electric, kind of all the mechanical, so they could start formulating those plans. Joe sent something over late today that I opened, but really haven't reviewed yet to make sure that they encompass everything we were asking for, and to see if we need to edit anything. But the design process is moving forward, still with the goal for getting that out to bid this fall, with a potential start date of early October. So to that end, according to Amy Sanders and Joe Hayes with REH, the next step is the approval of a BG3. We were not assigned, KDE assigns projects into tiers. And the tier that this currently is sitting at KDE does not require a BG2, so we can go straight to the BG3. So to try and simplify things and move us along as quickly as possible, we are requesting approval of BG3 for design development for the Highlands Athletic Complex. That is simply a document that just further fleshes out what is going to be included in the project and what some of those items may cost. Kind of his, instead of a total project estimate, it's a breakdown of, I feel like this is how much the excavation might be, or this is how much, electrical might be. So he just kind of starts to drill some of those estimates down there.
Okay, any questions? So it just keeps getting more refined.
Yes, and when that document gets submitted, a series of drawings will, kind of the first layer of drawings will also be submitted to KDE.
You said we don't have to do a BG2, what was that again?
They assign projects to tiers in part because of what's included in the project and overall anticipated cost. And I think we were all surprised to see that in a tier that would allow us to jump right to
Okay,
BG3. So,
that's a good thing.
take advantage of it.
Yeah, I was just
Is
curious.
that maybe because it's not a classroom building, or?
I think that's a good portion of it. There's not as, when you talk about a facility that is almost entirely athletic complex, there's not the requirements they have to look for square footage, for classrooms, for hallways, for, they don't have to look nearly as detailed at, how you're handling your technology and your other items of the infrastructure. So, plus, the designs are fairly straightforward for those buildings.
Okay. All All right, I need a motion for the approval of the BG3 for design development for the Highlands Athletic Complex at Power Park renovation project.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
So Jerry, we submit the BG3 to Department of Education. It's a BG4 that would allow us to put out the bid, is that?
Well, no, BG4 is more toward the end of the project, so, they may require us to, if they do take a look at things and say, you wanna, do this, I think the next time we bring this up, we'll probably say, we'd like permission to move forward with these bid documents and get ready to get it out to bid.
So, if it's on this side of the August meeting, we could potentially have a special meeting for bid. If it's closer to the August meeting, then we'll hold off to the August meeting to send out the bid. Is that
Mhm.
your intent?
Cool. Get this rolling.
I think that's all, man.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Jerry.
All right, Jamie.
Good evening. My next three agenda items are preparing us again for the 23-24 school year. This first topic would be our second reading of our proposed policy changes based on KSBA updates. And those were presented to you last month.
Okay, questions? We had the first reading and okayed that, and now we just have to do the second reading, so if anybody have any questions for her, we've read them, so. Okay. All right, I need a motion for the adoption of the proposed KSBA policy updates for 2023-24 as presented for a second reading.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right, next.
I don't remember if it's fundraisers or lunch. Lunch, okay. Each year, we need to consider if we are going to be participating in the federal lunch program or not. And based on our calculations, this previous school year, we were able to maintain a positive fund balance with the way we have operated our cafeteria programs in the past. So I'm going to give a recommendation for us to maintain being off of the federal lunch program to give our food director and each cafeteria manager the flexibility to arrange menus accordingly as our practice has been over the past several years.
Questions at all?
Mm-mm.
Jamie, I appreciate, because I know this is something that we study every year. And you spend a lot of time visiting different programs, and so just to make an informed decision, so I appreciate you doing that. And I also appreciate our cafeteria people for working as hard as they do. I was in the building sometimes when they had at the Highlands, when they had the 2 different times where people during COVID, where they had to have in the gym then, and the people work, that was yeoman's work there. So they work really, really hard, so I appreciate
Absolutely,
that.
and Andy has been certainly a big help too when we're looking at our financials to help determine our revenues versus expenses and having our cafeteria managers trained well. So we're very thankful for him and his expertise.
Thanks to Andy too, thank
Yeah, I
you.
can't remember, it was what, just a couple months ago that we looked at those numbers? When did you, so we do that towards the end of every school year to take a look back and.
Correct.
I remember we just did it.
So we're still doing well.
Okay, all right. I need a motion for the approval to opt out of participation in the federal lunch program for the 23-24 school year.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, great, thank you.
The next item would be then fundraisers for this upcoming school year. And as a school-wide fundraiser, Red Book does require us to have board approval. And we gather those from our schools prior to the beginning of school, so we're not addressing you multiple times throughout the school year. So our principals have provided this list of ongoing fundraisers for the 23-24 school year for your approval.
Jamie, can you distinguish between what constitutes a school-wide versus one that can be approved at the school level?
Yes, so if we have a small group of students participating in a very small activity, let's just say even a grade level, They are able to have principal approval to collect funds and raise, for whatever reason, the fundraiser has been listed on that form approved by the principal. But if you're involving all students within the school, so the whole body of students, and you'll see the list of these, this is gonna be the entire student body, you do need to have board approval for us to have those and host those, to collect those funds.
So those of you who have high school students would know that while you don't see the high school up here, it doesn't mean that they're not raising funds. They're doing so with pretty strong frequency.
Correct, they're just fundraising in different ways, yes.
And it doesn't include booster organizations, those would have principal approval as well.
And when you're doing all these and you all have leadership all the time, everyone has an idea of what everybody is doing, so.
Yes, and we've taken mindful steps to make sure that we have healthy fund balances, but not too much there, so that we're not asking for fundraising if we have funds available. We're only raising when we need money, and so we need to make sure that we're spending each year too.
All right, any other questions? Okay, I need a motion for the approval of school-wide fundraisers for the 23-24 school year.
So moved.
Second,
Second?
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thanks, Jane.
Thanks, Jane. Okay, gosh, all of our action items are gone. Discussion items, board committee updates. We're doing breakfast, committee, so that, we'll talk tomorrow, at our working board meeting about the letter that you got, but, we've already received one donation, letters went out to the rest of the people for donations. I'm meeting with with Nancy in the cafeteria tomorrow, so we're up and running.
When's breakfast?
It is the 10th, August the 10th. We've ordered the giveaway, well, in theory, we've talked about, we've
We've
decided what
narrowed
we're
it to
doing.
two.
We
Well,
did,
we with our preferred favorite.
I know, we know what we want, we're gonna talk to you to say, okay, it's okay.
Yeah, which means that we're getting.
We're getting what we want, right? I'll ask Peggy
It's
what
gonna
we want.
be at the high school?
It's at the high school, yes, it is. Other than that, any other board committees have met? I don't think,
I don't think so.
No.
No, let's see, the Hall of Fame stuff's coming up, I should know, August, it's,
It's blue, white scrimmage.
Blue White Scrimmage, whatever the date is of that, yeah.
okay. The next part is the approval of the consent agenda. So, with all the board members having had the opportunity to review and pursue any questions about all of the items contained therein, I need a motion for the approval of the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. And then, the next part is, other business. Do you have any? Okay, I have two thank you notes. One, these are the two people that got the, Future Teacher Scholarship, Alyssa Harris and, Emma Daly. And so, our stipends are put in and we give scholarships to future teachers, and so these are the two people that were chosen. I think they'll make great teachers, and, you know, I'm always up here politicking for children that come up here to be teachers, so I love that I personally love the stipends that we get, we turn over and give to future educators, so I'm excited about those two. All right, anything you wanna talk about? Okay, I think this is a new record. All right, we are adjourned, thank you.